are now joined with head coach Mark Byington of Georgia Southern. If you have a question for Coach Byington, please press star 1 at this time to get in the queue to ask questions. Again, that's star 1 to get in the queue to ask questions for head coach Mark Byington of Georgia Southern. The Eagles play today against Appalachian State. That game will tip off at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time in Boone, North Carolina. Coach, before we get to questions, could you please give us an opening statement on the season so far and looking ahead towards the stretch run?
Yeah, thanks, Randy. I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you guys today. It's been an up and down year, and it's something I fully expected. I didn't plan on having the youngest team in the country, but it kind of worked out that way to where we're all freshmen and sophomores, and I got one grad transfer. So the underclassmen has been a challenge for me as a coach. I think it's made me a better coach, but it's been a fun group to watch them get better and better. And the exciting thing is, I think the last 2, 3, 4 games, I think we're really starting to play better. We had a chance at Georgia State and lost a tough one in overtime, and then had a win before that with Troy and Louisiana Monroe, and we lost a tough one to Lafayette. So I feel like we're playing better. Going on the road for our next 3 is not something that's exciting when you have a young team. But at the same time, I feel like every time we go out, we get better, we grow, and excited about the future and these last 5 weeks too. If we can kind of jump up a couple more notches, I'll be anxious to see how we kind of compare against some of the best teams in the league.
Thank you very much, Coach Byington. As a reminder to our members of the media, please press star 1 at this time to get in the queue to ask questions. Coach, you mentioned you have the youngest team in the nation. That's a stat that's been, well rehearsed by your SID staff and everyone that's been put out there. But what's one thing, that going into the year that you did not expect this team to do well? Can you point to one thing that they've really improved on so far this season?
Well, I think early on, the first maybe 10, 12 games, to say bad on defense might be understatement. We were horrific at times on defense. And last year we had one of the top 20 defensive teams in the country, and that helped us win a lot of games. Well, there wasn't much carryover because I didn't have much roster carryover. And now the last 2 or 3 games, I think the light's coming on that they understand that they're going to have to guard and they're going to have to rebound in order to try to beat these good teams. And so sometimes it's not always we can execute it, but I think the importance and realizing how important it is, that's been the best thing that I've seen here lately on our team.
Thank you, Coach. Looks like we have our first questions, which come from Troy Schulte with the Arkansas Democrat Gazette. Troy, please go ahead.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Good, Troy.
Hey, I was just curious, when you look at the league standings as we are about halfway through here, it doesn't look anything like that preseason poll. I mean, how surprised are you as a coach just kind of how things have shook out so far through the first half here?
Well, not surprised at all. As educated as people are, as much time as they put in the preseason rankings, and it's coaches too. It's hard to understand what another team's going to have because our league's so spread out that you might not have seen some of the recruits or the transfers that somebody else might have gotten, and a lot of coaches do a good job of skill development and guys get better. So you know what, I think it's fun to do those things early. I don't think anybody's going to be shocked on who's on top of the standings right now in January, and I don't think it's going to be a shock when it finishes the regular season because I think everybody knows what the other teams have now, but I think what you're going to do right now in the last 5 weeks, even the good teams, they're going to start being some separation. Some teams are going to start really clicking and gaining momentum and start to roll.
And, you guys are coming into Little Rock this week, and you played them twice last year, got them twice last year. From preparing for the game this week, what's the biggest difference you see from kind of them last year to this year? Obviously, there's the new staff and kind of half the roster is turned over. But what's kind of the thing that jumps out you the most that's different between them and this year and kind of how they've been able to jump to where they're at?
Well, I haven't fully studied them. I've been focused on App State, and our game got delayed. and kind of riding back from Boone tonight, I'll flip the switch and start worrying about them. But I have seen them on tape because we play a lot of common opponents. And to me, without completely studying it, it seems like they have great roles. You have guys who, all-conference type players with Josh Hagens and Roger Woods, and those guys have, accepted, bigger roles, smaller roles, and for a championship team, guys have to do that. And then the other thing that I've watched them do, I think, is tremendous on defense. So those two things kind of stick out, and then I'll probably know a lot more in the next couple of days.
All right, thanks, Mark.
All right, you're welcome.
Thank you, Troy, and thank you, Coach Byington. That's all the time and all the questions we have for today. We appreciate your time.
Okay, thank you, Randy. Bye-bye.
Thank you.